sort of fell into social work. At first it wasn't the cognizant choice that I made, but once I found it, it felt really right.
I think Vernon's had to overcome a lot throughout adolescence, throughout young adulthood, and I think to get to the other side of some really obvious difficult barriers and emerge as not just a successful member of society, but somebody who's really excelling in every academic pursuit is really going to go on to be, I think, a shining example of what we would want in a social work scholar.
So last year, as part of a class project, myself and some group mates, we gathered just over 100 surveys, and that data turned into my thesis. I'm heading off to the University of Washington to pursue a doctorate degree there. And with that, I hope to continue doing peer research, specifically involving transgender and non-binary individuals, because with the LGBTQ community, we already have this much data about us, and then if you're talking about trans and non-binary folks, it's about this much data. And so I hope that I can make an impact there.
I grew up in West Virginia, and being in a rural, remote setting like that, of course, you're always surrounded by nature. And I always felt very connected to nature, and a big part of that, of course, is Parks and Rec. But at that point, really didn't know how to connect that to a career. I came out to Arizona with my mom on vacation. We went all over the state, and I was hooked.
So Renee's undergraduate research project was about connecting youth to the wilderness. She took a class with me called Wilderness and Parks in America. And that class really got her interested in the ideas of how Americans connect to nature and especially to wilderness.
I have been involved with the undergrad research fellowship program because I'm interested to see where my peers stand on wilderness and how they would see these areas best managed. I feel that it's important to, gain a grasp and understanding of where, young people today, where they stand on these places that one day they are going to be managing and caring for.
So my lifelong commitment to government work and international upbringing inspired me to pursue a career in public service. I was with a nonprofit in Saudi Arabia that is an arm and collaborates with the Department of State. It's called the Western Studies Institute. And I was basically working on an economic development project to help advocate and advance the law field for women because of the gender parity in Saudi being a very conservative society. It was very cool being involved and helping advocate for women's rights in general.
She is very sensitive, articulate, and very bright. And she has very good traveling experience and gets along with students and other people very well. I think if a lot of students are like her, then we are going to have very nice international peace.
I double majored in criminology and psychology because I always wanted to know why people did what they did and made the decisions they made and how we could help them.
She's been incredible through her internship. I hesitate to even call it an internship because she's actually making change with the Arizona Department of Corrections.
I have had the opportunity to be involved in life-changing activities. I've worked with Dr. Ray and Deputy Warden Smith-Whitson and CO3 Brennan on our Inside Out Prison Exchange project. I've taught classes, and I've just really got to learn a lot about inmates as people and what we can do as a society to help them change who they are and change their decision-making processes and prevent recidivism.
I decided to pursue this advanced degree in Homeland Security and Emergency Management because I wanted to challenge myself and get to that next level of academic success.
It's hard sometimes to stand out in an internet class because unlike the traditional face-to-face, you don't get to have that type of interaction with a professor. So the students that stand out are the ones that are really engaged.
I really want to become a career firefighter because that's just what I love to do, and this degree has made me more aware of different elements of leadership and management that could be extremely effective in the fire service.
I moved here when I was 18, right after high school. I was born and raised in Mexico.
Immediately she stood out as a top student. She has an amazing passion and drive. She would always stay after to ask me questions, and wanted to know more about the subject that we were covering.
Working with families and working in the field and getting interaction with, how things are happening in our state and the needs of the families that I work with, I decided to go into social work. I'm heavily involved in the community and I'm learning how the field works. I think eventually I would like to use my knowledge and my experience and my involvement to run for office, to run or be involved more in the political field and making the change that I want to see. I also think that we need more women and social workers in elected office, and I think that there's a big need for that. We can sit and wait for someone else to do it, or someone else to take the lead and have people follow. But if it's not us who are taking the lead and leading by example, then nobody else is going to do it.